Man, I don't know about you guys, but I cannot wait till all of this is over and we're in a time where we are beyond all the different circumstances and difficulties that we're going through, the war, the battle for humanity, for freedom, and all these different things. And I believe that we're going to be over this hump very soon, and especially in the coming months and years even. And so I want to just encourage some of you guys to really hang tight. And as much as I've been talking about a lot of things over the past couple of years, I want to give you guys this warning, word of encouragement, and I'm still praying into it. And I believe that God has something in mind in Asia and specifically in Taiwan. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I'm going to wager a guess. And this is only just a theory, or in some sense, just my own thoughts. It's not prophetic in the sense of this is what's going to happen or whatnot. And so I want to give you this warning. But if we learned anything, if I learned anything, if any of us have learned anything over the last couple of years, it's that we've got to be cautious of the news that comes out immediately. And I've heard rumblings, you have increased quote unquote aggression of China in terms of the fly zones, the entering the South China Sea, and all these different things that are just crossing these boundaries, right, into Taiwan. And so you've seen some of those things, and you've heard people, especially Trump, saying, watch Taiwan, and he could see China, taking over or doing something with Taiwan. And I want to give you guys this warning, the same that I gave this warning with Russia. I believe there's something more sinister going on behind the scenes. I believe that Trump, the military, a lot of good guys are doing something about it right now. I've given a lot of prophetic dreams or words with regards to Trump doing something in the background, or the military, somebody doing something in the background, and knowing and understanding what's really going on. And it seems, especially with whether you want to call it predictions, whether you want to call it just foresight, with some of the things Trump has said, especially one that's ringing in my ear now, is that the gas prices are increasing. And he said this before, years ago, if Biden is in the office, that these prices will increase by $6, $7, $8 or whatever it is. And you're seeing that right now, right? And so that leads me to think, what is going on with China and what's over there? And my thought is that just like with this special military operations, and I give a prophetic word about that the Lord showed me about Russia not invading Ukraine in the territorial sense, but rather achieving or accomplishing something with the military to overcome certain things there, whether it's bioweapons, the next evil, COVID, the next thing that was going to attack humanity, or whether it's the obvious, regime, the neo-Nazi, the people that have oppressed a lot of the Ukrainian citizens for a long time. And I'm not talking about all of the army or whatever it is, but something was there for which it justified, or rather in the eyes of Putin, justified that. And we'll see all of that come to light. Whatever is hidden will be brought to light. And I believe that. And I think we'll see that at some point, but we just have to hang tight. And I've said that we've got to reserve judgment. I want to give the same warning to whatever may happen with Taiwan in the future. And I'm still praying into it. I just not sure what's going to happen. But I believe if something happens, that we have to reserve judgment and be very cautious with Taiwan and what's going on. I know we have this image of China being bad and all this stuff, and I agree with the communism aspect. But just like America, where there's evil, deep state, whatever swamp people you want to call it, and good people, and especially with the military, you got the TV generals that Trump likes to call, and you got other good patriots. Same may be the case with China. And in some sense, you can say that some of these leaders, whether it's Putin, Xi, and Trump, or these guys, they have a common enemy. They may not see eye to eye for some things, and who knows? We'll see. Maybe it's all theatrics, maybe it's all optics. Not sure. But regardless, there is some common enemy against this global cabal, whatever you want to call it, versus other agendas that people have. And so I'm not here to defend or just give light attention to these things, but I believe that whatever is going to happen in the near future with other news, other countries, Taiwan, and all these different things, we have to be very careful, again, how we take in information and news. There's gonna be, I believe, an uproar if there's any talk about war or any of these things, and why it's an invasion versus a justified special operations. And who knows, right? So maybe there's biolabs, maybe there's other things in Taiwan. But I think that there's something with regards to chips. And Taiwan being a huge chip manufacturer, you got TSMC and many other companies that have state-of-the-art development and technology in the semiconductor industry, right, in that country. And so who's to say that maybe, just like with Ukraine and many in Wuhan and other places, that there were behind the table secret developments of sinister bad things to be used for, unbiblical, not good purposes. Who's to say that some, and I'm not saying this is the case, but who's to say that there may be chip development for ultimately the mark of the beast, right? In the Bible, it talks about how people are going to have these things. And you can argue that what does it represent? But I believe that if you have a chip and it's going to impact the way you buy or sell, if it's going to shut you off or do certain things, that's a big deal. And so if there's something being developed now that is going to be this bad global agenda for something, and it's justified by attacking and overcoming it, then there may be a reason for this, and we're not going to see that truth until later. I'm not saying this is fully the case. I'm just theorizing, hypothesizing what may be the case if, and maybe even when, there might be an attack or there might be something, a special operations mission in that area. I've talked about how there's going to be a global takedown. There's going to be a lot of justice, a lot of righteousness, a lot of things being stored, massive arrests, if you want to call it. And we're in the midst of that right now. And it starts with a lot of what's going on in Europe, Eastern Europe, but also it's coming, I believe, to our shores in America. And so, again, guys, I'm speaking out loud here. I'm not saying with concrete thought what it is. I'm not trying to spew any conspiracy or whatnot. I'm just thinking through what it is that may be going on, because God has clearly showed that there's a time of exposure, that there's going to be righteousness, restoration, there's going to be a defeat of the enemy. And I want to be able to bring that to you guys as not only a prophetic word, but also just as we get through this together. And as much as I am so happy and excited for what's to come, and patriots, everybody likes to say the best is yet to come, right? But until that time, there's a lot of things that need to be sorted out, and it's going to get a little worse before it gets better. The timeline hasn't been what we all thought it would be, but I think that we're in a place where we're going to see some greatness, a lot of things, especially in the monetary, the financial systems, banking. I've been following a lot of things in that area as well. And I'm hoping that this will come very soon. So gas prices, all these different things, I think that's a small issue in the bigger picture. I think we'll have it back down at some point, but we just have to get through this time period right now. It's hurting people's wallets, but at the same time, it's waking people up. And so I'm glad, I'm fortunate for this. There's collateral damage. There's different, externalities that's happening now. But in the midst of that, God is good, and he's using this time to awaken people, to get people closer to him, and we'll see. And so be on guard your heart, take on the mind of Christ, pray, continue seeking him during this time. But wanted to give you guys this as a word of encouragement for current event news, just what's to come, if it comes, among other things, and just to have the right outlook and mindset, as we've been trying to do if you are a believer, if you are one that's seeking truth. So God bless you guys. Be encouraged. Talk to you guys very soon.